Democracy has been saved. Jimmy Kimmel's show will be back on ABC. Disney and ABC basically have reversed course and say they're bringing Kimmel back, despite the fascist crackdown from the Trump administration. So obviously, I went through this the first time in the original video when this originally came out. When the FCC chair came out and said, hey, we can do this the easy way, the hard way, talking about Kimmel's show, saying Disney and ABC should take some action and basically curtail this guy and tighten up what they're doing. That's wrong. Like, the government shouldn't step into the situation at all. Just leave it be and let the late night show host die with late night, as that type of content disintegrates and collapses on itself. Let them go with it. Instead, you basically caused a PR nightmare. So Disney has, I don't know necessarily, they haven't obviously came out and said this is why we're putting it back one way or the other. They're just kind of like corporate speaking their way through it. But generally the online discourse around the free speech narrative of them canceling his show, threatening to indefinitely suspend him, whatever, however you want to say it, is that people don't like it, which, like I said, as I just said, I disagree with it. I don't think the government should have any handle in it. Do I think they're also kind of using this as a ploy to get attention? Yes. Do I think they're probably going to cancel the show anyway? Also yes. But if you didn't hear about it, ABC in, I believe, Sacramento, California, one of their studios was shot up in like a drive-by style shooting. They arrested this guy. They found him. He's basically, it looks to be from his social media content, pretty left-wing guy, anti-Trump guy, hates the current political party that's in power right now in the government, and basically was, in my mind, that's, I don't know the technical definition, so yeah, big grain of salt, whatever. I don't know how that's not like a terroristic act to basically try to threaten ABC into bringing the show back, or saying like, you did something I disagree with politically, now I'm gonna like threaten your life basically and shoot this studio up and put a bunch of bullet holes in the glass out front. So there was that, and then obviously the online political and social backlash that came. Disney's stock price went down. I think they lost like $4 billion worth of stock value in one day after this news came out. And then obviously all the social media hit pieces, the news coming out and saying you're giving in to fascist government, blah, blah, blah. Well, we can get into that at the very end, but is it authoritarian that the FCC would come in and say this? Yes. Was it stupid? Yes. Was it wrong? Yes. I think, honestly, if I was Trump in this case and my FCC guy who I have running the FCC would have came out and said this, I would have fired him immediately, and then came out and said it and said, hey, we disagree with everything he's saying. The whole merger that all these companies are trying to go through on the back end, it's going to have no play on it. Do your thing. Free speech all the way. Go ahead. It's an easy PR win. Whether you like what Kimmel said or not, I didn't find it that offensive. It's whatever. It's up to you. Your prerogative. If you found it that offensive, I really don't care. But if you want to win this politically, PR wise, you let him say that shit. People don't agree with what he said for the most part anyway. You're not going to change anybody's minds. You're fighting for the middle, the independents, whatever, in these elections and things like that. By coming in with the government and kind of threatening them, you lost them. But instead, you could have let them do their thing, and you would have gained them, because Kimmel would have lost them by saying things that people don't typically agree with, in the sense of, yeah, people don't think murdering your political opponent's good. And if he wants to talk in positive ways about it, let him, and then let him lose the support that way. That show would have been going down the tubes anyway, just like Colbert and all this. And now instead, you basically gave the other side a talking point for free, an easy, good one, a winning one, if we're being honest, in the sense of what we're talking about here. The problem will be for the ABC and the Disneys is people don't care about this shit, really. They're using it as a what is it, a soapbox to get up on about free speech and democracy and all these kinds of things, and how the government's overstepping their bounds and all this. And are they correct? Yes, technically they're correct. The problem is they don't actually give a shit about that, because as I mentioned in the first video, this is not new, and I think it's only right, and it's the only intellectually honest thing to do is be like, my opinion is free speech is good. I don't want the government coming in and saying what a TV show or people on the internet or any of this thing they can say within the tight boundaries that we've not the tight boundaries, but without these tight edge cases that we've said, like, hey, you can't say that, you can't threaten to kill people, stuff like that. I want you to be able to say whatever you want. Go for it. In the court of public opinion, let you be judged. If you say something too crazy, have at it. The problem is going to come when the side that now is getting to champion free speech is basically going to wield it against the right, I guess, as like, hey, you guys are being hypocrites, blah, blah, blah. Problem is, everybody's a hypocrite. Nobody gives a shit about your rights, free speech, none of that. It's purely, if I can use it against my political enemy, I will wield this sword basically to try to chop them down. I don't give a shit. The funny thing is, Google just came out, Google and YouTube, yesterday or today, and basically said, yes, the Biden administration was putting pressure on us to censor and ban their political opposition under the Biden administration, under the White House of the past presidency. Now, will you see any of these people that came out and said, Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, some of them will, obviously, but the mainstream ones will not. I can almost guarantee it. Will they come out and say, Jimmy Kimmel was bad, and now that this Google thing has come out, the government shouldn't have done this either. That is also bad. Bad things all around. Will they come out and say that? No, because if they agree with them politically, ideologically, all's well. That's the real problem with where we're at today anyway. I'm going to try my best to, like I said, to stay honest about it, principled about it. In this case, I think it's easy because there's people on the right arguing, well, they do it to us, let's do it to them. Okay, that can be your argument if you really want. I understand where you're coming from, things like that. But you could have stayed honest to your principle and won the argument by letting Kimmel say dumb shit, losing support, and saying, we still let him say whatever he wants. Free speech all the way, let him say whatever he wants. And then he still loses his TV show because nobody gives a fuck about late night TV anymore. Could have done it. Could have executed it to perfection. But dumbass from the FCC had to come in and jump in and say something too off the cuff and be posting memes and sending memes to reporters and shit. So now we're here. But the twist in all this, the two internal parts of ABC, Sinclair and Nexstar, these two affiliates that run the actual broadcasting stations that own the markets where the TV shows are shown, still say, fuck you, we're not putting this show back on because we disagree. Which leads me to believe, I mean, maybe ABC Disney was kind of covering it up with the fact they're like, hey, FCC said this. They're kind of like, they never came out and said it, but they're kind of like, hey, it's more about the government pressuring us than our affiliates, this or that. We're about to find out, because the affiliates say, I don't care what happens if you decide to put it back corporately or not. We're not putting it on our network, basically, on our affiliate channels. So obviously their pressure was pretty solid, and they're not backing off of it. So they obviously were coming at this from some kind of weird principle state. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, but it should be interesting to kind of see where this goes from here. And I'd say, I don't know. I heard something about Kimmel's contract being up soon anyway. So we'll see if Disney and ABC renews it, and if they don't, and who they're going to blame one way or the other. But in reality, I think this all comes to an end. Late night will go away. Jimmy Kimmel will go away. All these people will go away because it's just not. It's not in the cultural zeitgeist anymore. It's not a thing anybody cares about. So let me know what you guys think. I'd be interested in what you think as far as like who's really to blame now. Was it really all FCC, or was it these two affiliates? I'm starting to think it's more like a 70-30, these affiliates. This is where the money's made. Where the bread is buttered, I get, with the FCC and this merger they were talking about, but who knows? It'll be interesting to see one way or the other. Dislike the video if you didn't like it. Tell me why. And I appreciate it if you subscribe and come back. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.